Hello, Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And today I'm in my dress whites in respect to the nursing staff who took care of my wife as she has successfully received her second heart transplant in 4 years. The nursing staff of both the cardiac ICU and then the ICU after the transplant occurred did magnificent work. They worked very hard. Particularly the staff of the ICU, because they're playing on the last step of life. And so they're very focused and really talented people. So thank you. Today I thought I'd talk about equipment placement. This will also include power cables and your interconnects or the type of interconnects you're using. But this is oftentimes one of the biggest problems we run into. We talked about cabinetry and cooking your own equipment, so you can go off and look at that one. Today we want to talk about the relationship of equipment to each other. And one of the biggest results of bad placement is hum or noise. Now, the hum was more common early on. Noise is a little different. We'll get to that one. But the hum often was the result of placing items that had large transformers in them. That could be your power amplifiers, typically in close proximity to preamps, particularly the phonostages, because they would pick up that AC hum field. Particularly if the amplifiers used I-core transformers as opposed to toroidals. And so you would get this hum within the rack that you have. So the distance between the equipment, between something that has large transformers and those which don't, becomes important, particularly if you're talking phonostages, preamplifiers, dealing with low-level signal. So be very careful about proximity where you put things. Sometimes it's actually better not to be, vertical, but you can actually get better results if you're horizontal. You avoid a lot of it. Now, the other area where hum would come in would be where you have your interconnects, single-ended in particular, running around transformers. Or like the wall warts, you have a little cord and it lays on the floor and your interconnects running by it. Ta-da, hum. We had that here. We had to figure out what it was. And yes, it was. It was simply a transformer near a speaker cable that wasn't shielded. So you have to look for those things. So when you're setting up your equipment, the ideal way that you do it is you keep all of your AC mains to one side and all of your interconnects to the other. That way you're trying to reduce the risk of hum or interference. And some of it may be very obvious, some of it may not. It's just kind of there until you fix it and then it's gone. A sort of silence, as I would call it. So that's the hum portion. Noise. Noise became a real problem with the introduction of digital devices. And you can turn around, if you still have one, your CD player, and you'll actually see an FCC registration number on it. And that's because they do emit RF, and there's a strict band of how far that RF can be emitted, particularly outside of your home, which is a no-no. So these devices, digital devices, can create a noise that shows up in the equipment. Again, in proximity to preamplifiers in particular. Some vacuum tube amplifiers I've seen get hit with it, and phonostages. So keeping digital devices away from the sensitive things, again, is very important. And that's principally where the noise is coming from. We're not talking about mains feed and the noise that happens that way. But the digital devices introduce a lot of things. Keep in mind that a lot of the home theater receivers now are packed with, digital devices And there we go again. So what that's doing to the quality of the signal that you're trying to work with, I would imagine varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. But these are the two things, and it's all about placement. So if you have any questions about what's going on in your system, take the time to rearrange things and see what happens. You might be very pleasantly surprised, or conversely horrified and put it right back where you had it. That's the way it is with these two puppies. So thank you. Bye-bye.